Greetings, welcome back to the Too Fast Tactical channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a backpack insert. It is Ballistic soft armor. It is designed for EDC backpacks as well as children's backpacks. It is a product that comes from bulletproofzone.com. It is an item that's in their Tuffypacks line, and it carries a part number of 1114. This particular item measures 11 inches by 14. This is the smallest one in this line. They also have other sizes, several other sizes, 12 by 16 inches and 12 by 18 inches. The weight on this soft armor is roughly 20 to 24 ounces, depending upon the size that you get, so it's very lightweight. It carries a ballistic rating of 3A, which is lab tested. I'll talk about the ratings a little bit later in the video. This ballistic insert is made from a Taron, T-W-A-R-O-N material, 24 layers of it, which is a similar type of ballistic material to Kevlar. This particular insert also gives you a certain level of protection against stabbing and piercing objects. There is no metal in this. It is soft armor, so you can run this through your airport or metal detectors if you were using this in a children's backpack in their school and they had metal detectors. This would not set it off. So the advantage with running with soft armor, let's just talk about that real quick here before we get into too much more. The soft armor, as you can see, is very lightweight. It's also very flexible. Once we start getting into hard ballistic armor, whether it's steel or a ceramic type material, the cost goes up substantially and the weight goes up substantially. If you wanted hard ballistic armor that was cost effective, you're going to pay a premium in weight. So you're looking at about 8 to 10 pounds depending upon the size of the armor plate. So it can get pretty heavy. Now this type of soft armor, this is specific for a backpack, but this type of soft armor is also used in standard bulletproof vests. Most police officers out on the street are going to wear a vest underneath their duty uniform that has similar types of material, not in this specific shape, but they'll have pieces like this in the front and the back and on the sides. Military also will run armor like this in their tactical vests. Same configuration, front, back, and sides, possibly around the neck, shoulders, possibly the groin area. The difference between police and the military on how they implement soft armor is the military will supplement it with hard armor. There's ceramic ESAPI or SAPI plates. So they carry a lot of weight. Police officers, at least the ones I'm familiar with, don't use any type of hard armor underneath their duty uniforms. So anyway, this is that same type of material. The cost on this on bulletproofzone.com's website is $119.95, and if you use the link that's in this video description, that'll net you a 10% discount, and that 10% discount is good for more than just this item. You can use it for all of their bulletproof backpacks or their backpack armor. And Bulletproof Zone sells a lot of different stuff. They've got bulletproof outerwear, jackets and such, backpacks. They have inserts like this. They have hard armor. Definitely visit their site and take a look at some of their offerings. Anyway, so I picked up this particular item to run in an EDC backpack, and I've got a couple of backpacks that I'm going to demonstrate how this can be utilized in the backpacks. Now, if you've got a children's backpack, I'm not that familiar with children's backpacks, but I'm assuming they don't have zippered compartments for a water bladder insert. My tactical backpacks do, and that's where I would place this armor, so that's what I'll be demonstrating. Possibly on children's backpacks, maybe there's a laptop sleeve or a notebook sleeve that this could be fit in, so you'll have to use your best judgment on the best place to put it. So let me go ahead and take out a backpack, and we'll just take a look at how you would insert this and carry it in a typical backpack. All right, this is my typical EDC pack. This is a Rush Moab. This is a sling pack. The dimensions on this are roughly 9.5 by 8 by 9. So this is a rather small pack. This is probably wouldn't be, it's a good day pack, EDC pack. That's what I use. It's obviously too small to be probably a children's backpack. I'm assuming those would be a little bit bigger. But on the Moab, there's actually a zipper compartment on the back here that you can unzip, and it's designed for a water bladder. But because this backpack is so small, the smallest bulletproofzone.com armor insert won't fit in the hydration area. So what I have to do with this particular backpack is I have to insert it on the inside. So if we just open this up, you can see the internal compartment here. Just get the camera down a little bit. The internal compartment right here is pretty big, and it is expandable. So if we take our insert, you can see this particular insert fits in here just fine, and it's almost a perfect fit for the entire storage area right there. Now, mind you, for a more permanent type of installation in this particular backpack, I'm going to have to come up with some Velcro solutions to hold it in place. Right now, it just kind of sits in there, and if I'm not careful, it could possibly fall out. But it is tucked down in there pretty good. So that's how I would run this in this particular backpack, because it won't fit in the hydration carrier spot. So now the label on the front of this also indicates that this side faces away from the body. So you'd want to make sure, if you were to purchase something like this, that you follow the instructions on the label and make sure that the label is facing away from the body. So this is going to be facing the back of the backpack. Also, soft armor does have an expiration date. This material does deteriorate over time. Roughly, it has a 5-year lifespan, and there is a manufacture date on it to let you know that how long this will last. Now, one thing with the sling packs, which would be applicable for my purposes as well as, let's say, children's purposes. With a sling pack, you have just one of these going across your shoulder. When I'm wearing this on my back, I can easily swing this entire assembly around to my front and wear this on my chest. So if you were facing a active shooter scenario, if you were running away from an active shooter scenario, you could keep this on your back, and that would give your back a lot of protection. If an active shooter was approaching you from the front and you were cornered in a room or something, you can easily swing this around to your front and transition the soft armor protection from your back to your front. And this is a pretty good size, and it would cover most of your chest area. So that's a good thing about sling packs over a typical backpack that has 2 straps on it. A typical backpack with 2 straps, you more or less have to take it off and reposition it to put it on your front. It takes more time. Sling pack, much easier to do. Anyway, I've got another backpack, which is a Drago Atlas, and it's a slightly bigger sling pack, and that comes in at 19 by 11 by 10 inches for the measurements. So let's go ahead and take a look at that, and I'll show you the fitment of this soft armor in the Drago. Okay, the Drago's a little bit bigger, so I can't quite get it all in frame here on my my display area, but you can see that this is the Drago Atlas. I took everything out of it, so it's going to be a little bit easier for me to work with here on the workbench. You can see the Drago is roughly similar in the fact that because it's a sling pack, it only has one of these supports that goes over your shoulder, so you can easily transition the Drago from your back to your front. And this particular pack is specifically designed for that purpose. So because this main compartment up front here on the Drago can house a holster and a firearm. So in active shooter scenarios, I can transition this from my back to my front, unzip this compartment, and grab my firearm and be good to go. Also, the soft armor in this is also going to give me that level of protection in an active shooter scenario as well. So that's kind of how this Drago pack is designed to function. And of course, there is a hydration pocket on this, and you can see that the hydration pocket has a zipper right here that we can open up. Most of these hydration pockets are not the largest pockets, so getting hard armor in, squeezing it in some of these compartments is challenging. Now the Tuffypack, the 3A soft armor, kind of goes in, and we got to kind of push it in and move it around, squeeze it in there, and it barely fits in there. It's almost a little bit too wide. This particular one could be a little bit longer to fit in this hydration pack, but you can see without too much effort, I've got it in the hydration area and it zips right up. So soft armor is inserted. Most of the time on these types of packs, the hydration area is kind of dead space. I may put papers and things in there because I don't normally carry a hydration pack in these EDC bags. Perfect spot to put your soft armor, or if you elect to go with a plate armor, you could put your plate in there as well. So that's more or less how this is soft armor fits in the Drago. Of course, depending upon the pack you have, your installation and issue, any type of fitment issues may vary, of course. You can get this armor squared off. That's kind of designed for briefcases and other types of applications without this rounded top. This is specific for backpack applications. All right, let me clear off the work area here. Okay, with the backpack fitment out of the way, when you pick up this item from bulletproofzone.com, they ship this with it, which is some printouts stapled together, and it's tips for keeping your child safe in an active shooter incident at school. And it talks about how to use armor and so on. I'm not going to go into that a whole lot, but this is good information. I don't have any children, so this isn't really applicable for me, but I definitely learned quite a bit from reading this. So if you are in a family situation and you want to get some protection for your child or children while at school, this is good information for you, as well as will add an extra layer of protection for your child in school. Also included in this is ballistic test reports. All of this soft armor that Bulletproof Zone sells has been tested to a certain standard, which is needed to get the level 3A ballistic rating. I won't go into all of those details, but there's a lot of particular details in here on how they test it and different ammunition that they use and the different firearms. And if you're wondering, I am not going to test this by shooting it because I don't need to. To receive a 3A rating or a 2A or a 3 rating, it has to be tested for different calibers of ammunition. So there's no point in me shooting it. I'm just going to ruin it if I shoot it. So, and that's not what I bought it for. All right, so let's talk about the different ratings. Ballistic rating of 3A may not mean a lot, but what that more or less means is that the armor is rated to stop all pistol caliber projectiles. And we have different types of rating. You've got a type 1, you got a Type 2A, you have a Type 2, you have a Type 3A, and you have a Type 3 and a Type 4. And briefly, Type 1 stops 22 caliber long rifle and 380 ACP. Type 2A is 9x19 millimeter or 9 millimeter, 40 caliber Smith & Wesson, 45 ACP. Type 2 is 9 millimeter plus P. That's a more powerful 9 millimeter round than the 9x19. Type 2 also protects against 357 Magnum. And once we step up to Type 3A, of course, each time we move up, the higher level covers all of the previous ones as well. So 3A covers everything I just talked about, plus 357 SIG, 44 Magnum, 10 millimeter auto, and 7H21. 7H21 would be the 5x7 FN round. Above 3A is armor that stops rifle caliber rounds. Now, I'm sorry, 7H21 is not the 5.7 FN. I apologize for that. Type 3, once we start jumping up into the Type 3, now we're talking hard armor. That's your steel plate or your ceramic ESAPI plates. Those are designed to stop rifle rounds. 7H31, which is the 5.7 FN round. The SS190, or I'm sorry, the SS190 is a 5.7 by 28 FN round. I'm getting all my details mixed up, sorry. 7.62 by 39 millimeter, which would be the AK-47. 7.62 by 5.1. That's like a 308, I believe, would be the equivalent of a 7.62 by 5.1. And 45 to 70 solid copper bullets, higher velocity rounds as well. And the 5.56 round as well is included in there, and a 5.45, which is the newer AKM rounds. So if you're in a scenario where you require protection from rifle rounds, then you're going to be looking at a Type 3, and that would be a hard plate armor of some sort, whether it's armor or ceramic. Up from the Type 3 would be the Type 4, and that's to stop armor-piercing rifle rounds, which technically are not legal for civilians to own. So, in my opinion, your choice for your own personal protection or the protection of your children would be a level 3A soft armor piece like this, or step up to a Type 3 plate armor. That's your call. The plate armor, of course, would protect against everything that this soft armor would protect against. You trade off basically the flexibility. Plate armor is a big thick piece of steel or a big thick piece of ceramic material. The steel weighs roughly 8 pounds, and this weighs roughly 20 to 24 ounces depending upon the size. So there's your difference between your soft armor, your ratings, and your hard armor. Now myself, since my EDC packs, I carry a lot of different gear in them. I really can't afford to add 8 pounds of armor to my EDC packs. It's just too heavy. I've tried it because I have a tactical vest that has soft armor and armor plates in it, and it's just too heavy. So I opt to go with the soft armor, and the soft armor is going to give me a variety of protection against all of the pistol caliber rounds. If there's somebody with a rifle shooting at me, then that's going to be a problem. But if somebody's shooting at me with a pistol, I've got solid protection here. So anyway, that was pretty much all of my talking points. I've got a lot more details about the different types, the Type 1, 2, 2A, 3, and so on. I just kind of breezed over that because I could talk about that for an hour on its own. All the different velocities of the bullets and different type of bullets, and the full metal jackets versus hollow points, and but that's a topic for a different type of video. So BulletproofZone.com's website's got a lot of different varieties of products on it. I like some of their offerings for the soft armor outerwear, the jackets and the shirts. I might explore that at some point in time. That seems definitely interesting to me. But for now, I'm very happy with what I've received so far. This particular item appears to be well made. This is an outer protective layer, and it also is a UV protective layer that I'm not going to open. I am curious to see how the material is sandwiched inside, but I'm not going to open it because that wasn't the purpose of why I bought this, to tear it apart and break it down. So that's pretty much all the talking points I have for this. It's more or less just to give you an idea of what you can do, what you can add to your EDC or your notebook bag. If you wanted to use a notebook bag, you could put armor in that to give yourself a little bit of protection, as well as how you could add some protection to your children's backpacks. More information on the children's protection and the backpacks on their website. So if you want to learn more about that and active shooter scenarios and how to protect your children in school, way too much information for me to read about in this video or talk about in this video, but there's plenty on BulletproofZone.com's website. They've obviously come up with some solutions to protect your children, and it's definitely worth visiting their website and reading up on that to see if something like this would be a good decision to put in your children's backpack. Anyway, use the link in the description, get 10% off. I think that was a pretty good deal. They provided that so I could give that to my viewers. So that's pretty cool. Anytime you can save money is good. So anyway, I'll wrap up this video, and thanks for watching.